you.
Ah, there we go. Okay, hey all. Next race in the trucks is at Texas. I think we raced well here. I know I have a good setup, but I have 100% truck now, so probably hopefully do a little better. I also adjusted it. I took notes the last time I was there, and I adjusted the setup slightly.
Coming to the green, driver. Be ready. Ready.
Shock change,
Green flag. Got one outside now.
air pressure, and wedge change. Very slight. Half a pound, and click a wedge, and 2 clicks on a shock.
Careful. Still there.
Ah, try to miss him.
Stay low.
I think it helped.
Still there.
Oh, he's still there.
Still there.
See, when you're on the inside, fighting somebody like side by side, you can't let off the throttle at the same point, taking the turn so shallow like that. So you go in normal, your wide entry, you know, you can, normal throttle. When you're cutting it down low, if you do that and you get on the gas at the same time, or get off too late, you're just going to slide up the track. And if you notice how I drive here at Texas, which is very aggressive, because the track kind of lends itself to that, is I get off the gas when it stops turning, and I get on the gas when it starts to turn. And I actually use that window brace right in front of me, the windshield brace, as a gauge. When I see it stop moving to the left when I'm turning in, I get off the gas. And when it starts moving, I get back on the gas. Little things. I also feel it in my steering wheel with the force feedback. Since you're not actually sitting in the car or truck, force feedback is a great tool if you know how to use it. And it takes practice. It's like, some people ask me, I just messed that up. Some people ask, well, how do you know what? It kind of goes back to that line in Days of Thunder, not to be, sound like arrogant or anything, but, you see that dog over there? It's the best coon dog I ever had. You teach it a damn thing. Some things you just got to figure out for yourself. And some people have a knack for it, and some people don't. So if you can't figure out the force feedback, use the window brace. It'll get you basically the same result. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. That means, you don't know what I'm talking about. There's more than one way to solve a problem most times. So if one way doesn't work for you, you can figure out a different way. The idea is to get the problem solved. But at the same time, you have to recognize that there is an issue or a problem to be solved. If everything I said is irrelevant to you, then it won't matter anyway, right? Starter's handling is going away, and I hurt myself aerodynamically. But it's first stage. A long way to go. See, I'm not the kind of racer that goes into a race with an unknown setup thinking, oh, I gotta win everything. I'm looking at winning the race. And the only way to win the race is to cross the finish line first on the last lap. The last lap. Not the first lap, at the 10th lap, at the end of the stage lap. I mean, that can help your championship, but in the overall scheme of things, the win will help you more. You get 1 point for a stage win, you get 5 points for a race win. So you can miss 2.5 stages in races and win 1 race, and you get all those points. And if you get behind, you can get back up front. You just got to figure out how. You know, some of the ways is change your pit strategy. You know, like if I was a lap down right now, and I see I can't get my lap back by racing back for it, I'd plan on pitting early before 3 laps to go, taking my gas and fuel then, and then staying out, or just taking gas, or just right side tires. You know, something to get you, you know, back up there. If you're the first car a lap down, then you're gonna get your lap back anyway. So you don't have to worry about it. We got another stage, 2 more stages to run, and the last stage is the longer one. So at the same time, if you have a really slow car or truck, it probably won't matter if you're a lap down or not, because you probably end up going back a lap down. But if you got caught up in something, you know, definitely, you know, do everything you can to get your lap back. Good ways to practice that is with the AI. AI makes it a little easier because they don't always pit. So, like, if you have to pit when they don't, you get fresher tires and you can get spots back. Maybe even, you know, get your lap back. See, I'm going to pit here. Five laps in the stage. Yeah, I'm gonna pit. I'm not gonna take any gas. See, if you were a lap down, stay out. It's only 5 laps. You can hang on to 5 laps and you start, even if you start up front. You know, if you're in a league, tell the guys, I'm starting. You know, I'm trying to get my lap back here. So, you know, maybe pull over or something for him. What's he doing? It's a little loose. Nothing horrible.
Coming to the green, driver. Almost ready now. Green, green, green. Inside.
Interesting to note, I beat some really fast guys with this setup.
Still there?
But I'm struggling against the AI.
All right, you're clear there. Looking inside now.
Okay. See, I didn't get my momentum cut. So I might be able to hold on to it. How many laps we got? 3 laps? I might be able to get the stage win after all. See? I wasn't even trying. And sometimes it just falls in there. But I think I need another adjustment. Oh yeah, we got this. Unless I screw up. I wasn't even trying and it just fell there. And once again, like I was saying at Homestead, you see they're all lined up, and there is a draft at this track too. All the mile and above tracks, the draft plays a factor. Under mile tracks, they play a factor they probably shouldn't, but
One back stage. Way to go, driver.
you get out front, you know, 2 laps to go. It takes them a couple laps to get up to full speed, even with the draft. So. Again, make it work for you. See, I don't really have to pit, but I have to pit for gas, so we shall pit. 15 laps, 21. We got to figure that out. Yeah, we're good. Ooh, 26. That wasn't good. Oh, they didn't pit. See, they all stayed out. So I'm going to have an advantage later in the run since I'm on fresh tires. It's interesting how I'm not moving up as fast all the way in the back as I did when I restarted 6th.
Alright, clear low.
I knew he was there.
Alright, you're clear. You're all clear up top there.
Ah! One thing I noticed about the E5 AI is they stay down longer off the turn. So it's my timing is for Heat 4, where they kind of move up faster. See,
Stay low, stay low.
they stay down lower, and it messes my timing up.
Careful, still there. You got
I'll get used to it.
Car on the outside out.
See, like here, I was all the way down there to avoid them.
Stay on the bottom here.
To get my nose under them.
You got room, you're clear there.
I'm not gonna get angry from here.
Careful, still there.
Yeah, you might be looking at my steering wheel inputs. Yeah, I'm driving it. But when you get down low like that and you see me turn it to the right, it's because when you're going so fast in the turn,
Stay on the bottom.
in all the series, you know, you're partly flying the damn thing and not just driving it. I had to tap the brake there
Careful,
'cause
still there.
I got off the gas a little bit late. I didn't want to hit him. And a lot of times the setup in a loose setup in the turns works best under power. You let off the gas and
Clear high, bud.
10 laps to go. And you let off the gas and it can hurt you. You know, it does what they call it. Your setup is loaded when you're under power in the turns, and when you take the and in a street car, when you hit the gas real hard, you notice the car kind of
Careful, still there.
moves, bounces around a little bit. It kind of moves, changes its attitude, you know, from how far the front bumper is to the ground to the rear bumper, etc. You go through a turn, it leans over, maybe. You know, most cars handle pretty well, so they don't lean too much. An old car will lean more. But it changes the attitude of the car or truck. When you're hitting the turn, like right now, my attitude is where I want it to be, or as close as I can get it to, you know, have a really good speed through the turn. That's why I'm passing whoever I'm passing on the outside here. So you got to be able to do that. It's not just about speed. You know, I set up my setups to do stuff like this because I know it'll be necessary. And if I had to get off the gas right there, I could have actually spun myself out, especially on the outside, because I'm at an aero disadvantage. I don't have enough downforce because he's taking some air away from me, and it unloads the suspension, which can really upset the truck. So like when you're watching, you know, like a race, and you see a guy, you know, going through the turns, and say, you know, he has to avoid, and you're like, oh, that idiot, look at him spinning out. A lot of times it's not his fault. If he had a lift so he doesn't hit somebody or hit somebody too hard, you know, kind of thing, or he turns the wheel too much, because that's your instinct, is to avoid hitting something. And it really can upset these asymmetrical setups. And asymmetrical means that one side is different than the other side. Your settings, like your tire pressures, your right sides are much higher than the left sides. That's asymmetrical. So when you try to do things that you're used to doing in a symmetrical setup, like a street car, they don't always work so well on the racetrack.
5 laps to go.
I think I'm faster than them, but I don't know if I have enough time to get up there and pass them. I'll try not to almost wreck freezing when I get by them this time. Yeah, I got a little slidey there. What I mean is it just slid up. It didn't get loose or tight. It just slid. Because I got a good balance on the truck. That slid. I wanted to see how if it would recover, because it usually recovers. So technically, I can make it a little bit looser, but I think that's the problem. I think I'm just a tick too loose, and that right rear isn't holding, and it's kind of leading the way up to the to slide up into the wall. But how do I want to tighten it up? I think left front temp is pretty low. Left front 0.5%, half a pound of air pressure. It's a good test, and then we'll run it next run and see if it works.
Just a couple more turns, 2 more, 2 to go.
Good. It also turns in a little bit too good in the middle, so that's loose. I mean, it's showing loose, and that's what the problem is. It got so loose, the right rear wouldn't hold the speed, hold the lateral grip, and I lost it. But it's a very even setup, so it's kind of hard to tell. The clue is I am, you know, I have a little bit higher, right rear temp than the right front. See, they kind of even up, but even is not good in some tracks. So I got to get that rear tire temp down about, I'd say about 10 degrees. You know what? Let me try taking a half pound out of the right rear and see how that works.
That'll earn you a few stage points.
I could take a pound out or put a pound in, but that's way too much. A half pound you can tell. It'll either help it or hurt it. Really need to do that. This is not bad. I hate to do that. Let's do that. Let's try that. Left front. It's all about the balance. It's all about what'll keep it fast and not cause it to slide around so much.
You've got room. You're clear.
This third stage, what do we got? 36 laps, 35 laps. So we got to make a pit stop. Thing only holds 24, 25 laps of gas. That half pound didn't upset the handling too much. So what I'm concerned is it's going to make it harder to turn off. Because in the middle, it'll help it turn, actually, while stabilizing it at the same time. Because adding a little to the left front will take away a little from the right rear. But it's just a half a pound, so not that much. You know, very, very subtle. My fastest lap is what? Not 34.136. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's me. See, I didn't need to do that. See, I looked at it the wrong moment. And I hurt my race. Because that little lead I had, even though they probably would have caught me anyway, that little lead I had could have been really important later on. So, you know, try not to make mistakes like I did. Who am I racing? Yeah, see, it's okay. Now I got damaged, so I slowed myself down. End finger? End finger is fast here. I actually wanted to see how many laps it would take them to catch me. That's a gauge. Oh, I think I might be a little faster than them now. The track changes with the stages. So the other reason not to get too radical on your adjustments is, you know, if you can't remember what you did and you're out to lunch in the third stage, a lot of times just putting it back to where you had it will get you at least back to where, you know, you might be better with all the changes. So it's, you know, during a race, unless you really know what you're doing, I don't really recommend making big changes unless it's very obvious. You know, I've been doing this a while, ridiculously long while, and you know, I learned. I remember it wasn't too long ago on one of these videos, I think I said I made like one camber adjustment, and it took the setup from, and it was just a test like this. It was just a test just to see, and that one camber adjustment gained me like a half a second of time, and it made the thing drive like beautiful. You know, so you never know. A little adjustment can go a long way. And if you make too big of an adjustment, you can then upset something else, and then you're just, it's chasing the setup, is what it's called. And you don't want to chase the setup. You wanna creep up on it, you know, and that means running a lot of laps, testing. Testing during a race is good too, but you can't test everything, you know. And eventually, you know, you'll figure out, you know, like, okay, I can do something about that on a pit stop, or I can band-aid it on a pit stop. And to the point where you're like, well, I can't do anything on a pit stop because I need to change something else I can't change on a pit stop. So you got to figure out how to band-aid it with pit adjustments, so at least you can, you know, run the rest of the race, kind of thing. You know, a lot of times that happens when, you know, I'm racing with somebody like, oh, I put my qualifying setup in. You know, qualifying setup, you know, might last 5 laps, might last half a fuel run, but it usually doesn't last the whole fuel run. You got to make some adjustments to make the car drivable the whole way, and usually consists of tightening it up. But how you tighten it up is important too, and never underestimate the power of tire pressure. Tire pressure is kind of fun, quirky to work with, unless you know kind of how it works, which is, you know, they get hotter, and they get hot to a certain point at a certain point in the run, typically about 5 laps in or so. But it's different depending on what tire pressures you start with. So just working with tire pressure all the time is not a good thing. But if you start out one way and the car or truck starts to go a different way, like after 5 laps, it could be that you have the wrong tire pressures. Might be too much air in either all of them or in some of them, and the tires are then, you know, once they heat up and expand, they're causing you an issue. You know, like at Daytona, you know, you can start out with like 25 pounds of tire pressure in real life. I don't think it works like that in heat. But you could start off with like that in real life, and within like 5 laps they'll be up to 60 pounds. So when you're setting your pressures, you're typically setting the max pressures, but it takes a while for them to get up there, and they can be too much. So we fixed that. That worked. That's a good thing. Let's keep it. So I got fresher tires than everybody in front of me. So everybody behind me has the same tires. And I might just be able to make it to the end. Let's see how many laps we got left.
Green flag, green flag. Got one peeking inside.
$23, okay. But everybody behind me is good to go too. Enfinger, though, is the guy I've been racing, and he's in the lead. He's gonna have to pit, I believe. I got a really good run, but I got nowhere to go with it.
Careful, still there. Still there inside.
Yeah. This is kind of advanced, so I don't recommend this.
Still there.
But it's fun for me.
Clear all around. Still there. You got room. You're clear there.
Inside here.
Still there. All right. You're clear there.
These guys are going slow.
Stay high up there. All clear.
Yeah, I wanted to kick out, but I was prepared for it.
Clear low there.
Wow, he went high. I thought he was going to go a lane lower.
Clear low, clear low. Car outside. You got room. You're clear there.
Sneak under him here.
Stay low, stay low. All right, you're clear.
Only one guy. So I went wide there to get a better arc, so I can have a better run off, because they're all kind of spread out.
Stay high up there. Stay high up here.
Yeah, I know. Timed that right. I'm still getting a little loose, so
Stay high up here.
I want to get up past this guy. I think he's gonna have a run on me though.
Stay high.
I got the outside. That worked.
You're all clear on the bottom there.
So if you have no cautions, I can just ride here and probably win the race. Thing is that they won't pit until like, 2 laps to go. So if I can pass them, I should, but I don't want to abuse my tires too much because that right rear is still wearing 2% more, and later on it might be an issue. So the question, should I push and pass them now when they're faster, or should I wait and gamble that I'll have enough tires when they're slower? I'll just see how it goes and ride in their draft, so I can stay in their draft. And a third place finish is not bad, but I'd like a win. Get more money for a win. If caution comes out, well, all bets are off. If you notice as the tires wear, my time off the gas increases just a little bit. It's like, like heartbeats. Or I'm a musician too, so to me it's like, it's a beat. 1, 2, 1. Quick beat, 1, 2. And I kind of do it anyway. 1, 2. And you can train yourself. See, it's sliding out a little bit. The right rear, see? The more it equalizes, the right front needs to be about at least 10 degrees hotter than the right rear when you're entering the turn and off. Ideally, if you got a good setup. Sauter's truck is going away. I was trying to pass him, but he's strong still. He's slower in the turns, but he's not that much slower. Ah, here we go. If there's no caution, they just handed me the race.
That car had it, he was pitting.
there we go. So, strategy worked. I'm in the lead anyway. How many laps do we got? 12 laps, yeah. I do have like 20 guys, like 12 guys that pitted with me and probably make it, but they are 4.9 seconds back, almost 5 seconds. I think I might be okay. So all I gotta do is keep my nose clean and hope for no caution. That should be good. Hey, yeah, I'm easing it, but he's maybe a tenth faster than me. But that's only 1.1 seconds over 11 laps, so unless I screw up, that should be okay.
All right, time to go. Keep it nice and smooth for us.
All these guys are a lap down. I've already passed them in the pits. Oh, he went high. Thank you, but I didn't expect you to go high.
Stay on the bottom. Clear all around.
That could have been bad. Well, not a big deal. The good news is, too, if there's a caution, I should be able to hold them off for a couple laps if I don't screw up. Question is, will anybody pit? Because if anybody doesn't pit, then, you know, pretty much have to stay out to have a shot at winning. Otherwise, I might be too far back. See, in a league, everybody would pit. Maybe one guy would stay out, you know, if he was a lap down or something, or felt he just needed track position. Mainly out of the, not the group that pitted with me before, but out of the group that has pitted since, because they're on much fresher tires than I am. So my gearing, I know, would get me out front, because the AI do the same thing every time. And I know I could hold them off for 2 laps, maybe 3 laps, if I don't make a mistake. But any more than that, if it didn't come out now, you know, then I'd probably be okay either way at this point. In real life, it don't work that way. So as fast as the AI might be or whatnot, now they're far from perfect in imitating real life. Now they're imitating, to be fair, what you see on TV. They're not imitating what's going on in your online leagues or lobbies. There's a whole different, you know, thing. That's why you know, sometimes I'll tell you the difference, like what I would do in the league race and how it's different from what I would do here in career mode. Like I said, you should learn how to master career mode, or at least quick race, you know, at all the tracks. That's a good gauge of how fast you are. If you can beat the AI, you know, you have a shot, you know, of running well online, especially with the faster leagues. But if you can't beat the AI, don't expect to win a lot. You know, don't expect to win when you go there. You got to learn a ton. You know, it's like going to school. You got to take yourself to school before you can consider yourself knowledgeable. Okay. Crafton took over second, 3.6 seconds back. 4 laps to go. I think we'll be okay.
Stay low, stay low. All right, here to clear that.
Also, how he's got to pass the same trucks I do, and potentially you can pass the AI trucks, especially the slower ones, faster than the AI will pass them. So it gives you more cushion for all the trucks or cars you can pass in a situation like this. Whole matter of caution comes out, but if it stays green, you know, and they're faster than you, it'll take them longer to get to you, so it slows them down in their progression through the field. Oh, and I want to make a little amendment to what I said about like going to the outside and such. Yeah, one lap to the good. And you know, you also got to learn how to do that. You know, it's a different way to take the turn. You know, because you don't have as much downforce. The truck is too loose or too tight. You know, you got to account for that. And a lot of times I won't do it, especially, you know, in an online situation, because I could easily mess up and wreck everybody, you know. But it's good to practice offline, because that can win you a race. See, 103 speed rating. I won a stage and I won the race, still only 103 speed rating. So there's some speed to be found here in Heat 5. I'm in both stages? No. Entering the one. There it is. He didn't have a good race. We got some more money. More money. 100 grand. Texas. Big payout. 3 wins. Firmly in front on the points. Looks like they did fix all the... Nice. Looks like they did fix all the paint glitches as far as how it appears. There's still some things I don't like in the paint booth in the career mode online. They kind of limit your paint scheme each year. Colors are unlimited, but what it looks like is kind of limited. You can't change the styles like you can in the custom paint booth and the content. So. Okay. Oh. Loading, loading, loading. Yes, those are my fingers. I have psoriatic arthritis, so gotta loosen them up. No, it's not bad for you. But if you have it a lot, you might want to get it checked out. Oh, actually 178 fans for a win in the Truck Series. Wow, that must be a record. It's usually 160 something. It's because you get thousands in Xfinity and Cup typically. So. Oh, and I got my incentive contract with an extra $4 grand. Cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna run this race. Horsepower tracks until you have 100% engine pretty much aren't really. They're more frustrating. So here are my career settings. The infrequent, I think, was good. I think we only had like 1 caution. 2 cautions, so that's better. Usually you get 1 in every stage, so. You can turn them off if they bother you, you know. But realistically, in life, you typically get a caution just when you don't want it, like I did yesterday. But it happens. I got 2 of them. Each one made it worse. So, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Any questions or comments are welcome. And